The first question is why we have a parliament, why we have a legislature. This aspect we need to know, because at the end of the day, when we will be discussing the working of the parliament, we will be taking into consideration this aspect. That is how far the parliament has been able to perform the functions which were assigned to it or which are expected from it. The parliament has to perform two major functions. One, the deliberative functions, and then the functions of representation. The functions of representation. Deliberations, discussions. But by the way of discussions and deliberations, what specific functions the parliament has to perform? Herein you can write it. To make laws under the deliberative functions. To make laws for the smooth administration of the country. To make laws for the smooth administration of the country. Secondly, it provides platform to the opposition to scrutinize the policies of the government. I repeat, it provides a platform to the opposition to scrutinize the policies of the government. So it is a formal place. The opposition can scrutinize the policies of the government through discussions, through debates. Next. It discusses the issues of national importance. The issues of national importance. Next. It puts a financial check. It puts a financial check on the executive. Not a single paisa can be taken out from the government exchequer without the consent or the prior approval of the parliament. And not only this, after the money is spent, then it is audited by the CAG, and the CAG's report is scrutinized by the parliament. So in this way, the parliament puts a financial check on the executive. Next, these things we'll be discussing in detail. That is how these things are done. It is a chamber of information. It is a chamber of information. And the information given in the parliament is considered to be authentic. The information given in the parliament is considered to be authentic. Otherwise, it can be considered as contempt of the House. Contempt of the House. So if any member, minister or non-minister, gives an information in the parliament, it must be authentic. Otherwise, it will be considered as a contempt. Apart from these deliberative functions, the parliament also performs the functions of representation. It represents the people. It represents the people. And there is direct representation of the people in the House of the People, that is the Lok Sabha. Secondly, it represents the states. It represents the states and that is done through the Rajya Sabha. That is done through the Rajya Sabha. In the Lok Sabha, a member is elected through the territorial constituencies. For example, if a person has been elected from Amritsar, in the Lok Sabha, he will be talking about the interest of Amritsar only. Here and there he can talk about some national interest also, but he will be bothered about the interest of the constituency. And the local area development fund that he will be getting will be used by him for the development of Amritsar only. But in case of the Rajya Sabha members, they will speak about the interest of the state as a whole, the interest of Punjab, the interest of Chhattisgarh, the interest of Mizoram. So basically, they will represent the state as a whole. And thirdly, the parliament represents certain sections like the scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and Anglo-Indians. We all know such type of things, but basically, how to write the things systematically, how to think about the things systematically, that is the idea that we need to develop. So basically, the parliament performs deliberative functions and it performs the functions of representation. At the end of the day, that is when we'll be winding up our discussion on the parliament, we'll be taking up our discussion how the parliament has been able to discharge these responsibilities or these functions well. Now coming to the structural aspect. The parliament consists of the president, Council of States, that is Rajya Sabha, and House of the People, that is Lok Sabha. The president is not a member of the parliament. We have followed the British model here. In Great Britain, the monarch, that is the king or the queen, is a part of the parliament. The monarch is not a member of the parliament. Why? The president is considered to be a part of the parliament. If we need to give this answer in one sentence, we should say that it is because of the legislative powers which are discharged by the President of India. There is no need to talk about all the legislative functions. So it is because of the legislative functions that the president discharges. He is termed as a part of the parliament.